welcome to another Asymod video. Today we're going to be introducing the Asymod Mini. Designed to fit into most newer compact radios. With built-in amplifiers that limit us, Asymod Mini is ideal to install inside this RCI X9 that has a built-in amplifier, very small space, confined space. So we have managed to design the Asymod Mini to go on the side here, tucked away in the corner. The Asymod Mini has been arranged to easily fit inside compact radios. Here on this side we have our remote, our sideband output, our line in and our line in ground. Over here we have our TX 8 volt for our amp keyer, 12 volts in, 12 volts out to the DC to DC converter, our ground, our amp keyer, our 24 volts in from our DC-DC converter, and our modulation output to drive the RF finals. Over here you have two connectors. This makes it easy to install inside multiband HF radios. The Asymod Mini was designed to fit into most newer compact radios, such as this X9 from Ranger. The RCI X9, it's a very nice compact radio, very similar to the 2950s, 2970 series. It has the look of a standard CB radio, about the size of a Cobra 25, but is surely packed. It has a lot of features. It looks very nice. It works very well. So this will be a perfect candidate to put the Asymod Mini in. Due to the PA inside that takes up most of the space. But with the Asymod Mini now we can fit it internally and we don't need to have a standalone box. The X9 is ideal for mobile operation due to its compact size and its high power. And it's very linear, performs very well with the Asymod. The RCI X9 is ideal for mobile operation due to its high power output and its compact size, similar to that of a Cobra 25. The X9 is not only a nice performing, well-built radio, but it also is a good looker. Very nice display. The faceplate is lit up, and it's got plenty of features. The X9 goes from 24 megahertz all the way to 30 megahertz. But there you have it. The X9, very nicely built. It's got internal fans. The PA is inside using RT1s. Looks pretty good, pretty heavy for the size. Pretty solid, pretty packed. So let's go ahead and get on with it. So we'll go ahead and install the Asymod Mini in it and see how that works out. We have now installed the Asymod Mini and the Ranger X9. As you can see, this radio is pretty busy inside. You got your echo and effects board over here. You got your built-in PA here that takes up most of the space. This radio reminds me a lot of the 2970, 2950 series, just they made it more compact. We've done all the necessary mods to install the Asymod Mini. And here you see the Asymod Mini installed. It goes right behind that IF can into the side, barely taking no space. In this install, we have installed the amp keyer, the PTT switch, and the line-in connector. This time we're using a 1/8 inch jack. a 3.5 millimeter phono jack instead of the 1/4 inch due to the small amount of space that we have to work with. And all the necessary hi-fi mods have been done. We haven't labeled it yet, but here we have our PTT jack, our amp key and relay, and we'll go ahead and put the VFO wine and the high and low power switch later on. This radio works really well with the Asymod as far as headroom goes. The modulation envelope is near perfect. The bias is just right. This radio is a great candidate for hi-fi operation. It's very linear throughout the bands and it works very well. The display is very nice. It's like a soft white LED display. It's a great radio for mobile hi-fi. There it is, the Ranger RCI X9. Besides being compact and being able to fit almost anywhere inside any radio, the Asymod Mini is a complete hi-fi solution to make your presence on the air. No doubt it's the right choice to sound pro and proud. It expands your radio's TX bandwidth and it allows you to increase your audio loudness without distortion using the asymmetrical gain functionality. So here we have the RCI X9 ready to start testing it. The line-in connector is a 1/8 inch jack or a 3.5 millimeter. So we're using this adapter to go from the 1/4 inch to the 1/8. We'll go ahead and connect all the wires, get it ready, and we'll go and test it out. We'll do a few tests. We're going to be using as a hand mic today the infamous Aesthetic 575 M6 with tone control, and we're going to compare that to the RE20 using Pro Tools for audio processing. So let's go ahead and power it up. Go to the center of the band. Let's see what it's sounding like. Not much going on the 11 meters. Okay, so let's give it a test run. Right now, the radio's off. The standby LED is on. That's the green indicator right there. Let's turn on the radio. As you can see now, the standby light becomes brighter. That means we have 12 volts present, and the amber light is our 24 volts. When we key up, we have the blue LED come on. Not sure if you can see it from there. That means we're on TX. That triggers your amp keyer relay to key up your big amps. And when you switch to sideband, your sideband LED comes on. When in AM mode, the sideband LED serves as a peak indicator. Let's go ahead and key up and raise our carrier control. And let's put it at 2 watts right there. The reference is already set on the oscope, so now we'll go ahead and run our tone. We're under modulated, so we come to our level control and we'll raise it up until we get 100% modulation. Right there. Right there. You go a little further. Right there. Right before you start pinching, that's about 105%. If you want more positive modulation, you can raise up your asymmetry. That's 150, that's 200, 250, 300, and beyond. This radio performs very well as far as the response to the audio envelope. The bias is correctly set, so we get to modulate all the way down to 99% negative peaks. Some radios are biased in a way that we can't achieve that, but this radio is very good for that. I highly recommend it if you want a hi-fi mobile station, and you can use it on your base station as well. The Asymod gives you up to 14 kilohertz of bandwidth. However, using your audio processing, you should roll it off at 6 kilohertz. Okay, so we'll now show you how to set up the Asymod Mini. Straightforward, very simple, just like the other Asymod boards. First thing we're going to do is make sure we have our line-in connector connected. It's coming from our signal generator at the moment. We're going to be feeding in a 800 hertz tone into it from Pro Tools, and we're on AM, and we'll begin by keying up. And as you can see, we have to set the reference to 2 divisions on the oscope, and we're going to start off with a 2 watt dead key. Right now we have almost 1 watt in the bird. We'll go ahead and go to the carrier control and bring it up till we hit 2 watts. Right there. Now we could go up to 10 watts. This radio just did 150 watts on sideband, so it has pretty good output, and we'll check it out now. We could raise up our carrier up to 25 watts. Right there. We'll back it down. We'll put it at 2 watts, and we'll take it from there. First thing we'll do is set up the reference on the oscilloscope. Right there should be good. Bring it down a little bit. Span a little bit. Okay, next we'll generate the tone. Let's adjust the times per division. Let's adjust the trigger. We'll have to readjust that anyways. So at the moment we want to reach that line right there and that line right there, which is our 100% modulation mark. We'll raise up our level, modulation control, until we reach 100% modulation. Right there. We'll adjust our trigger, and there we have our 100% modulation. That's our 0 volt line. Those are our 99% peaks. That's 100% modulation peaks. Right here. That's our negative 99% modulation peaks. Not only does the Asymod give you a 14 kilohertz bandwidth, which you could roll off with your audio process, but it also gives you the asymmetrical control, which gives you loudness by increasing the positive peaks on your modulation. We'll go ahead and increase the asymmetry, and you'll see just that right there. That's the 150% mark. And still your negative peaks are at 99%. Want to trim back a little bit the modulation to round off the negative 99s right there. And we'll continue to increase the asymmetrical gain, and that's 200% modulation, and that's 270 just about. So that's how easy it is to set up the Asymod Mini. Okay, now we're gonna go ahead and try it out. We're gonna record the audio on AM as it's being received by the IC706 MK2G, and we're gonna be recording on the laptop right there. So we'll go ahead and make sure all our adjustments are correct before we start. First thing is, make sure we're on AM. Signal generator is off. We'll key up. And right now it's set for a 2.5 watt dead key. We're gonna put it at 5 watts. 5 watt dead key. Right there. Set our oscope. Right there. And we'll open up the mic and test it out first. Audio 1, 2. Okay, we got audio. Kill the mic, and let's adjust the audio controls on the Asymod board. Run the tone again. We're going to go ahead and increase our audio level to reach 100% right there. As you can see, we're slightly above 100%, about 105%. That's our negative 99% peaks, which we can actually, let's bring the audio down from here, the output of the Pro Tools, and raise it up on the Asymod. We're back to 100 there, if you squeeze enough, you see your negative peaks right there start to flatten out. Well, we want to go right before they start to flatten out, which is right there. You got a perfect curve. Okay, we'll back it down just a hair, just to be around 99, 98, right there. Nice and round troughs. So right now we're set. Let's add a little asymmetry. Let's put it at about 120. That's 150. Let's put it at about 120. Right there. So let's kill the SIGGEN, and now let's open up the microphone. And this is a test. Okay, let's kill the mic. Run the SIGGEN again. We're almost there. We're perfect. We're doing about 130% modulation. Right there, that's 150, so that's like 130. 130. And we're still doing negative 99s right there. So, okay, all this time this radio's been running. Runs a little warm, of course. A lot of devices in here, a lot of stuff happening. As we can see here on the meter, we're running about 20 plus watts, about 23, 24. 5 watts times 4 gives us 20, which is our 100% modulation. Using the asymmetry control, that's why we have the extra 2-3 watts. And that's going to give us the extra loudness that you're looking for. So there you have it. That's the Asymods already been set up. Now it's time for the audio test. The Asymod gives you up to 14 kilohertz of bandwidth. However, using your audio processing, you should roll it off at 6 kilohertz. Let's start recording here on the PC. Kill the SIGGEN. Key up, put on the mic. Make sure all the controls are okay on the PC. Audio 1, it's a little bit too low, so let's bring up the audio. Bring up the audio here in our receiver. Audio 1, 1, 2. Audio 1, 1, 2, 1, 2. Okay. There we go. That's fine. Okay. So now let's start the real test. Let me put on the headphones on and see what it sounds like. Sure, we could do some adjustments on the audio process chain. However, at this point, we're not going to do that. But it does sound nice, clean. Very low signal to noise ratio. Clean carrier. 5 watts. Audio 1, 2, 3, 4. Peaking to about 25 watts. If you can see there on the bird, that's 25 watts right there. Audio 1, 2, 3, 4. Almost went to 30 there. So that's what it sounds like. We'll incorporate this into the video so you guys can see what it actually sounds like on AM. And we can go ahead and play with some of the audio controls here, the EQ, and maybe give it a little more low end. Audio 1, 2, 3, 4. Test 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This is with a little bit of bass. No, I would take off the highs. We don't want that. We want it to be right there. Audio 1, 2, 3, 4. Nice and clean. Well, we've had it keyed down for a while now, for about 5 minutes, and everything is still under normal temperatures. Running a 5 watt carrier, we're doing about 150% modulation. 5 watt carrier swinging to about 20, 25 watts, give or take. And that's what it sounds like. Okay, so now we're going to test out here on AM the Aesthetic 575. And right now, as you can see, it's got pretty good low end. It sounds pretty nice. And I'm playing around with the tone on the actual hand mic. This is all the way to the top, which is labeled as 9, 0 at the lowest. 9 gives you more highs. When you go to 0, you get a lot of low end. Audio test 1, 2. Audio test 1, 2. This is the 575. Let's go ahead and connect the line in connector. Audio test 1, 2. This is the RE20 running the processed audio. We don't have as much background noise, of course, because we've got the gates and everything else going on to make it sound perfect. But as you can see, it does improve using the processed audio. You don't have all those crazy peaks you see there in the recording. Audio 1, 2, 3. The Asymod Mini alongside the Ranger RCI X9. So a really nice setup. Pretty happy with it. I'm sure you guys will enjoy it too, and you can pick one up at asymod.am. So now we're trying out some different settings. We've adjusted the EQ with more highs and more low end. And that's straight as it comes out of the radio, being received by the IC706 MK2G, which is not the best receiver there is, but as you can see, it sounds pretty good. Now we're using the Drake R8 receiver to see the difference, and it's a lot more bassier. It does have a tone control. 2, audio 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3 for 5, test. And our transmission sounds a lot bassier, so we're going to back down the bass on the transmission side here. Audio 1, 2, test 1, 2, 3, test 1, 2. And lastly, we're back here on the 706 MK2G to say goodbye. Just wanted to test it out before we close it up after we had recorded with the Drake R8 receiver that was a lot bassier than this.